Sosnovka, a little bit of a journey for themselves to get up towards that north side, but should be fine. Wait for the circle to come on through. Right now, Axel leading in top players, and for a good reason. This guy has been popping off between games.
And with what we've already had today, Blank, it feels like there's been something different in the air for these circles, for these games. Are we getting another ridiculous affair again? Do you reckon this will be normality?
Well, Neptune already jinxed it, didn't she? So we'll see. Again, the circle might be kind to us coming through to game 3. These players sort of need a break at this point. It's been wild so far. Some teams been able to roll with the punches, others not so. We're heading down towards the south side. This is your fault, Neptune. You got to take ownership of this one. We'll see who comes through with it. Vitality, they'll get themselves a nice start on this one. Down towards the south side. No eking their way up past the coast on the western side. They get to start in a good position. This could head back over towards the northwest side. But Godlike already taking 2 knocks here. S-Power has to hold it down.
Let's see if they can withstand the full frontal assault that's coming their way as S-Power opens it back up onto Loco. Oh, close quarters engagement with the shotgun. Good pre-fire on the angle. Vinny gets it done. It's not the start they wanted.
Hustler crew has been dropping on teams all day today. Do not care one bit. They lose Loco in the process, but feels like they've got their job done there. I think Godlike might need to start figuring out how they want to drop this one out, because they are going for this trash drop, right? They're going for split loot around apartments. I think personally, maybe they need to start dropping together, because where they're dropping isn't bad. It's bad because it's bad now because people keep dropping on top of them all the time. It's so tough to work with. So Godlike might need to make a change in that category. Also, I mean, Hustler crew has just been all over the place. It's hard to predict for Godlike.
Keeping them guessing. And that change of drop, that change of pace has certainly been hurting some of our teams. Brutal to position to be left in immediately, Blank. Less than 4 minutes into the game, you're down to a solo. Hustler crew getting away. Yeah, sure, you take some damage, but a trio could still look to weave their way through. Squeeze a few more points out of this one, the longer it develops.
The skin there as well, you can join Naruto Uzumaki himself with the new Ninetales Fury Orc skin. Looks fantastic. 2 versions of it too. Love to see it. Get angry. Feel that rage from the Ninetales in game, because it looks awesome as well. It's fantastic. It's a fantastic skin. We'll see what Mania can get done here. For Godlike, it's just been an unfortunate start for them. I mean, starting off with Horror dropping on them into Hustler crew, I do feel bad for them. I really do. We'll see if they can pick things back up going in towards our 4th Erangel of the day and into our Miramars. We've seen that anything can happen. They can still work their way back up those rankings. Down towards that south side, that S2G do move on through. A quick replay. I mean, S-Power did hold it down. He's only got Micro Uzi to work with. It's hard. It's hard in those situations. A vest as well, level 1 helmet. The fact that he held on as long as he did was pretty insane, to be honest, as well.
Yeah, it could have been way worse.
Ooh, Axel again. Still putting on those numbers. Goodness me, he is fearsome. Again, coming into this for Vitality, there was a lot of talk around Razy and Razak, and I've seen these guys perform before. They look great. But the fact that Axel is just like, guys, we got to get through here. We got to get into the top 5. We're making it through to finals. We're going to do Indonesia proud.
And they're certainly living up to the hype right now with some of the plays that are being made. We've seen these awkward encounters happening down towards Sosnovka as well, with the shots over. Everyone taking a few casualties here and there. Wolves only getting away with a duo off the back of things, and S2G falling very early here.
For S2G, they stepped a little bit too close to Vitality's home ground down towards this south side. They want to clear out more space. You got Razak as well as Federales holding over towards the bridge, whilst Razy as well as Axel currently holding down C block. They have a lot of area to work with. They are feeling unbelievably confident. Hustler crew still causing problems for people around the map.
Oh, swing out. Close quarters connections onto the Hustler crew. That's your single knock to play with, looking for more as they do take the fight back over to Vinny. Nade in the hand for the close quarters shutdown. It's good damage, but can't find a follow through with a shotgun. Not able to withstand it as they are down and out. Revenge there for their hot drop.
GS getting away with that one in school. Now, they do certainly teach Hustler Crew a lesson. But we'll need to get on the bus right now to get down towards the south side of the map. Curious to see where this next circle goes, because this could be another nasty one where we end up on the bridge. Wouldn't surprise me after the circles we've seen today. Alpha 7 still keeping it pretty chilled out over towards Milta. Moved away from North George towards this location of the map, considering the plane path itself. The arena, though, they took way longer. I mean, they wrapped back up towards South George. Gonna loot in this area, get as much as possible. I think they understand it's going to be a late rotate in, either on the bridge or send Primorsk and grab some boats.
There's our Alpha 7 cameo as well. All together, getting their move on with the hovercraft, crossing from the mainland back over. Tianba had that similar rotation, of course, as they do glide their way around. A few more style points on that one, Blank.
Oh, definitely. Line for the air does feel good. I mean, for Alpha 7, though, this is going to be feeling weird for them. Like a lot of times when they make this approach, they're always expecting teams to be holding in Novo. Yangon Galacticos, on the other hand, though, they've headed over towards Observatory. They've got a split there. They're trying to hold out all teams. Cloud down towards the south side, though, is peeking over towards Alpha 7, but the hovercraft means they can immediately get out of the water and get on the move. You can just see him there, off in the west-hand side.
This was the S2G fight where they were taken out by TT Project, the duo that tried to get away after their encounter versus Vitality. TT once again right here, right now, taking pot shots onto Dopeness bit by bit.
I mean, for TT Project, they know they've got to get some aggression under the belt right now. They are low down in the rankings, and they can't afford to let this game keep going the way it is. Ephius finishing out Kenji, and I think that might just be Dopeness out now. We've already lost 3 teams. Hustler Crew, Dopeness, S2G, down to 13, 47 players this stage of the game. It's quite carnage, quite a lot of carnage happening on the map at the moment.
Oh, okay.
A little bit more standard.
Yeah, this is probably better for us and for the teams, Blank.
It is.
Centering up, we do have those buildings that sit down towards the ridge side on the eastern edge that currently Vitality just have free reign over. Razak might try and regroup. I think it might be a bit dangerous now, holding over towards C block as long as he does.
Oracle.
So this is sensible, this is mature coming through from Vitality. They know that a lot of teams would like to take up position towards here. They don't want to leave it up to chance. 2 players getting run down. And even as I say that, Wolves start to make their way up, but they're caught up in between TT Project.
For what it's worth, they're keeping the heat on TT with how Wolves have played this one. A good squad individually. Zerich cleaning out towards the ground floor, makes it look simple as he busts around the door, waving the 4-4. Zerich with a nade.
Nice.
Ooh, beautiful bounce on it.
Might be able to pick up effect here, but Vitality's having none of it. They hear the shots, they hear the fighting, they take down effect and then clear out another building. This is just space gained, space garnered right now for Vitality.
You might think Vitality are going to clean up on this one, mate. Watch this from Zerich. I can feel the energy rising. Looks to get the nade into the back line. Decent chip damage as they're bombarding. 4, 5 nades. One after another, keeping them pinned in position. Razy with a wrap round the back, looking for the angle in. Federales It's a good knock. Zerich down.
Just an unbelievable amount of pressure being applied right now by Vitality. Axel behind him, Neos drops out, but Vitality looks clean. Not a single player lost on the knock here. And a reset, actually, because of Vitality, they've been watching out for a lot of players where they're coming from. Getting a full amount of utility, a full amount of supplies from that squad, that's really good at resupplying them going forward too. And again, more space game for them. They don't want anyone coming close to those buildings on the eastern side of that ridge. This is their area to play.
Tiamba caught vision as well of Alpha 7 here. Wide play space to work with. Decent amount of cover in between the trees. Just trying to wait for an overextension. Can't really hard commit and hold the angle right now if you leave yourself exposed to the crosshairs, and Alpha 7 don't want to waste too much time amongst this until they feel they've got an edge.
Revel. And a wrap down, trying to deny some of the sidelines, get over towards the airstrip. Maybe a bit further here. Circle could shift very far over towards the western side on this next circle, potentially. Instead, it goes central, over towards Millibase itself. Manya set up on the southern side of C block here. Trying to keep it as quiet as possible here for Godlike, try and get towards those later placements. Nongshim, honestly, like I said before, a strong team, but we have not seen a massive amount of that. And again, we've had these pretty crazy, quirky circles so far. Maybe they haven't been able to excel on those. Potentially here, we can see something a bit different.
Yeah, definitely a known quantity with a ton of talent. But like you say, maybe not just been the right place at the right time with the abstract nature of the first two games we've had today as we've kicked off the action. Group B, bringing the heat here. A lot of very explosive teams. Not in the worst position with the hilltop control and cover to work with. They'll have the lay of the land over the Vitality split if they advance towards them. There was a later rotate as well from Hora that's still been developing in the back. That's why we haven't seen them for some time.
Irina, in the meantime, did make the cross, by the way, over towards the western side. They are rocking up over towards that ridge. There was a 2-2 here from Vitality. Irina rocking up on it right now. It's a little bit scary here, but immediately Vitality's backing off the angle. But they have information now. That's the big thing. Will Irina catch any of them in the process? Manya now up against Yangon Galacticos as a solo.
Could have had the drop on him. Manya was hoping to at least get that one clothesline play. Introduce him to the shotgun, but he's exposed to Smile through the window. And Yangon do shut down the final member of Godlike as another squad exits stage left.
Irina playing this one slow at the moment. Again, I love the way these two teams have played this one out. Irina was cautious on the approach. Vitality didn't want to hold this position any longer. Quick regroup down towards the eastern side. Like, honestly, Vitality's playing like a finals team right now. This is really, really cool to see. Layering up towards Irina. They've got the hovercraft in play. I think for Razak's got to be careful here, though. Yes, he can keep gathering information. Make sure he knows exactly when Irina moves, where they move to, so they can plan out the rest of the game ahead of this. It is slightly dangerous versus Turney Cage playing on the top of the building.
You talk about slightly dangerous. This could be somewhat lethal. ETSH have to basically fight their way through the Ida blockade that is set up watching the bridge. Crystal clear line of sight. Looking to fire some shots onto them. The zone shifting in favor of Vitality's current position as well, with Irina in close proximity, and that battle does break out. Knockback over onto Emre, it seems like, though, for Ida. It's not gone anywhere near as cleanly as they were hoping for.
It's pretty messy both sides. I mean, Ida has the opportunity to get all the players back up again, but they're outside in the play zone. So one player goes down there. Emre potentially getting him back up again, leaving them as 3. But Aura, they sense blood in the water. They move up. Darkin with a P90. Looks to take some shots over towards him. But again, Horror. This is horrifying, honestly, for Ida. They're just poking their head slowly over the top, making it uncomfortable right now for them.
You think with that very delayed rotate, they went all the way around the east side over the other bridge. Haven't had too many opportunities to get elims on this game. 32 points coming into it in 3rd place in the overall standings after our previous 2 games. They're going to want a chance to fight, add a little bit more to that. But that wasn't the hard commit onto Ida. Like you say, get a bit of a read off and try and stay safe. Rest of our teams now focusing on forging a path ahead back into the zone.
Well, the thing is that for Aura, they have to be very careful here. They know there's a ridgeline that sits down over towards Nongshan Red Force. They can play that, but they also understood they didn't want to get too involved with Ida, considering that the main rotational path here for most teams is over the northern side, over the rolling hills, and then swinging by E Arena and then trying to play off that ridge there. So for Horror, I think they just take their chances. They move down towards the high ground. They're going to isolate a lot this northeast side of the map whilst keeping their back cleared from Nongshan Red Force as well as Vitality.
Alpha 7 in a pretty good position as well to possibly rearm themselves with some higher tier loot off the back of the drop. One of the times we've seen them not really taking early casualties as well, so we get the full force of Alpha 7 where they play their best PUBG Mobile. E Arena seeing the wrap round from Ida. And that seems to have caught their attention, perked their eyes up a little bit, but they're going straight down towards Tianba territory.
I mean, right now for Ida, they were just shepherded by E Arena in the hovercraft, and Ida does make their way up towards the building, but this is an uncomfortable position to be playing. Alpha 7 off the distance also trying to get involved there. In the midst of the chaos, Darko and the P90 goes extremely low, but for Tianba, they don't want to really leave these buildings too much. Everyone understanding that there are so many positions to play here, there are so many sight lines at play as well, that it's difficult to be making those rotations. I mean, Ida just felt the full force of 5 different teams all taking shots towards them.
Terrified of E Arena, forced into Tianba, and then skewered by the backstab of Vitality. Alpha 7 even assessing the situation to see when they want to make a move. Zone still crunching in. Last few squads making their rotate in.
Yeah. I mean, this is playable though, right? That's the problem for Alpha 7 right now. This is very playable in terms of the ridgeline. They've got ahead of them that slight slope that looks upwards. Until they're forced to move, I don't think they're pulling off this position anytime soon. Aura opens up over towards Smile. Behind the missiles. Want to see if they can find Romeo underneath. Sleepy looking to do his best anti-aircraft. Over towards these guys, clip their wings at distance, but this time he's got the DBS in hand, no Balti in play.
Nade after nade to keep the pressure on downhill. A bit of extra distance on that one. Nongshan Red Force still sitting pretty inside of the defensive area they've set up for themselves, whilst Alpha 7 go from playing passive to pouncing on a team. 72, 1GS taking casualties. Tianba also find an opportunity to get involved. And Alpha 7 collapse onto it now, Blank. Clean up through action.
That's really good. They spotted an opportunity, opened up over towards GS, and were able to find a fair few eliminations off the back of it. Yangon Galacticos also do move down this way, tails between their legs after that initial engagement with Aura earlier on. Not the spot they want to be in, and suddenly they find themselves with neighbors here in Alpha 7. 2 champions up against one another now.
But the issue is, Blank, heavy are the heads that wear the crown. And it's Yangon Galacticus that need to stand their ground and defend versus a reinvigorated Alpha 7 with a point to prove.
It's a real big opportunity there for Revo. 6 nades though, and a rough idea of where they're playing. That might just be enough.
Good arc on the first 2. Initial chip damage to aid them in the fight, but no overcommitment. Seeing more of that dynamic tempo they were talking about in some of the early interviews this event, saying they know when to be aggressive now, but they know when to rein it in and try and reset.
Yeah. Again, I think that was the big thing for Alpha 7 though. I think they got so in their heads that there was not a single team that could fight them clearly, that potentially that's their downfall. But again, this team has incredible gun power, but they just need to realize when to apply it and when to accelerate, when to pull it back. I think they've looked a lot better today. Honestly, it's looked a lot cleaner. It's a lot more like the Alpha 7 of the past, consistently getting towards those late games. But they're realizing there's some big dogs in this lobby.
More respect, but it goes both ways. They do assess the situation as well, getting a bit of info up top side towards E Arena with the split they've gone for. Can't force the issue too heartedly. If they leave themselves exposed, it could be punishing, but that might be an opportunity presented off the shot up from Hora. Filthy angle on that, Blank.
That's a long distance shot as well. Certainly put Tony K down. Helmet's got to be suffering off the back of that. Rough for Tony K as well, as he's usually the front man for the squad here. Joker's wrapping back. Certainly get done. Alpha 7 also has taken a knock at the process. These are bad times to be taking knocks. Circle goes central. Nongshim Red Force. Real chance right now for South Korea. Aura down towards the southeast. Tiamba's got to move out from the buildings. It's very clear where they've been playing for such a long time. Potentially move up towards the loot crate. I don't know how far in this is, but you could play off the back of it if you still got vehicles to work with.
Like you touch on there, could this be a game where Nongshim Red Force finally come alive? They've had a pretty safe pathway throughout the zones we've seen so far here on Game 3. We know they're talented. We've been amping them up. We just need to see it, but let's see if Alpha 7 can bring the thunder on the close quarters engagement. Goodbye, Milu, as Tiamba get hit by the front of the vehicle. Quick flicks coming out from A7. A single knockback onto him, and they're starting to take a bit of damage. Nongshim Red Force taking pot shots down. And although they've cleaned out the ditch, they've got a lot more to worry about.
This is just the difference between EWC and when we come to any other tournaments around the world. PMGC very similar in that approach as well, where you cannot make any play without another team dipping their heads in, right? It's really, really difficult. Every squad knows when to pick up the heat, honestly. The Arena also suffering massively on their entry. They just could not find a good time to make their way in.
Yangon still living on with a four-man squad. Hillside position in play currently for them that they will have to abandon eventually. Bora on the wrap further down. The duo of Ida was rattled down to only Darkin off the back of this central angle that was taken from Alpha 7. Arcing nades in towards the Tianba compound.
Tiamba, despite suffering so much earlier on versus Alpha 7, still alive here, but playing a building that everyone knows is occupied. Darkin and Tiamba live in the same nightmare. Right now, Alpha 7 need to make a move. Watchtower is open. Potential of moving over towards that. Vitality takes some heavy hits. Nongshim Red Force continuing to put on the pressure on this map. Again, Yangon Galacticos suffering the same thing that E-Arena did. They were looking for any kind of entry point, but every single way in just feels like a tight, narrow alley. They've got to squeeze themselves through.
Alpha 7 biding their time, know that they can strike now with a peek out. Ravo single-handedly has been the explosive force on Alpha 7. 5 elims tied to just this one beastly player. He's on his last legs for now. They need to play medic to get him back up, and Nongshim Red Force have had sightlines to make them feel uncomfortable.
I mean, honestly, for Alpha 7, they've had the roughest game. This is a really, really hard approach for them. I think they've played phenomenally this match so far. It's never been easy, but they are running out of supplies, right? They're running out of meds overall. I think the gas is low in the tank. Let's see how much more Alpha 7 can get done in this game. I think this is where they really will need to take the task to the next level. I think it's going to be hard. The game's going to come down to Nongshim Red Force and Vitality, unless Aura have something to say about it.
Nongshim Red Force just uncontested by any other squads. They've just got 3 angles to hold onto A7. And like you say, it's made it so brutal to move up. Meanwhile, we get the POV of Axel that's taking shots down onto him, but running low on supplies again. The ammunition economy could be a problem. They turn their attention straight onto Hora, though, Blank, and want to see if they can charge.
The nades just aren't pitched right, though. I think that's the last bombardment coming through from Alpha 7 too. There's a couple more nades still left. M79's in play as well. You need those smokes to make your way across. But I think it might be lights out soon. Great shot from Axel once again. This man's name's been in my mouth far too often today. It's crazy.
Just as Nongqin turn their attention over onto Yangon and Alpha 7 were given a chance to take, they go in, but Hora are still holding. And Alpha 7 cut short on the crossing, they can't arrive, and Hora hold on.
The jiggle there comes on through, looks really, really good in that moment. I mean, Hora didn't give them a chance to move on that one. Joker still up. E-Arena managed to make themselves into a top 5 despite everything. Yangon Galacticos massively suffering to the sightlines of pretty much just Axel, who has their number. But Yangon, I feel like their time is up now.
And that could be a statement that you could attribute to every other squad in the lobby with how Vitality are starting to play. A beautiful day from them so far. 10 elims in the space of this single battleground up to this point. A full 4 squad. The only other that's comparable is Nongqin Red Force. No, Joker!
Oh, almost got the second, dude. I actually felt it in that moment. But he might have single-handedly just ruined the chances of Hora. It goes down to this. Nongqin Red Force versus Vitality. Does get the res though, which denies the point. That's why he goes through with it.
An economic play, thinking about the future of what's yet to come for Hora. But right now in the flesh, live in Paris, we're talking about the present that is this game. A gift we've been given with Vitality playing flawlessly and Nongqin Red Force bringing the strategy down to our final 2 squads.
Side by side now. Vehicles still in play here for Vitality. For Nongqin Red Force, they moved up early. They've got 1 vehicle that I can see in play. But Vitality having these cars still up and available is a really big deal for them, which is maybe why actually earlier on Razak was making such a big deal of scaring off E-Arena's angle so they couldn't take shots down towards the tires because they knew they'd need those wheels later on. Little plays like this can make the difference. Moving up towards that loot crate could be the big thing though. Vitality looking to make the first move. You can hear the engines revving. Observers, love you guys.
Crushing
Setting
it
the
right
scene.
now. Giving us the cinematics of the story on this one. And I think you're spot on with how they played it, mate. But that's the devil in the details that's really raised our opinion of Vitality just in the space of the previous 2 games, with the fact that strategically it's been on the money time and time again.
Playing off the rooftops, both teams begging that each other makes a peek. Right now, this is more about information gain than everything. Not having any sight denied by the windows inside. And it comes down to this, zone 9. Circle starts to close. Both teams will have to make a move. M79's dropping out the smokes. Clearing out space between the center of the buildings. In come the vehicles. Razak goes first, gets it up towards the next. Had to make the crossing without taking too much damage here. Again, everything is folding into this.
Cerebral plays. Providing that they need to take space off of this. Second by second, edging further closer into a better angle to play off of. They want to cross. Smoke wall goes up. Dene being primed from the top of the roof, though. If this is on point for Nongqin, it would be absolutely brutal. Goes into the back line. Last damage. Oh, what?
What an insane nade. Axel's moving up, though. He's getting towards the back lines of them. He's already in. Raze is going to take a little bit of damage from that. Razak very much hurting now in the back lines. Raze is going to send a Molotov over the top side. Axel hurting.
He gets it done with a shotty. 1-for-1 trades on the Elim so far. There's the spam in from the Blizzard as we see another player fall. Nongqin Red Force seeing red as they're bringing the heat straight to Vitality. Only a single player remains. He might have the heavy artillery, but he can't do it. Nongqin Red Force with a strategic, comfortable game. Take game 3 and get that chicken dinner.
Just hold strong inside the building, they say. Au revoir to Vitality.
C'est la vie.
But honestly, for Nongqin Red Force, I half expected that just to be the ending of them. but it was stalwart in their defense. Losing Razak on the approach was the big deal. I half expect them just to all follow Axel's approach and just move to the side. But Nongshim Red Force, they've been storing those nades up until that moment.
That's the crazy thing, right? They were just given so much space to sit comfortably, and they get it done. They get a chicken dinner.
But you can see, Blank, it's not just what they've done for themselves, it's the reverberations they're sending throughout the other teams in this lobby, in this group. Alpha 7, trapped in such a horrific position.
Yeah.
A squad that looked like they were really starting to build up energy in that lobby, in that game, held back by Nongshim Red Force, could not get out of their angle, forced to fight Horror, and it all falls.
But honestly, again, when we were watching that game, Alpha 7 probably had the roughest task ahead of them.
Brutal.
But they persevered, and that really speaks volumes for Alpha 7, in my opinion. I think those boys really gave it all in their game. For Vitality, Nongshim Red Force, they had the best compounds since minute, let's say 10,
yeah.
right? But I think for Alpha 7, they had to work for those points. They had to work for their money there. And it's nice to see the synergy look good. And that's what Rebel was talking about, that they feel better going to these games. So I think this is a difference maker today. Again, we got the Alpha 7 squad. We're looking to destroy everyone in the lobby, potentially. We're not sure just yet. But yeah, Vitality, E-Arena, Aura, they are stepping up at the moment.
It's incredibly competitive out there, and I think that's the beautiful thing about it from what we've seen from Group B today. Everyone is keeping it so close. They're giving it their best. And you're spot on, man. I entirely agree. It's what they said in the interviews as well. And sometimes it's just words, but no, they prove that it's reality.
Exactly.
They prove it, Blank.
It's not just false confidence. I mean, it's nice to hear from Rebel when he just says, look, the synergy's better, we're prepared this time, and you can see it in game. But are you prepared to go up against an E-Arena? Are you prepared to go up against a Vitality, a revitalized Nongshim Red Force? I don't know, but we'll find out later today.
Max and Lace here at the merch stand at EWC 2026. Now, I've heard, Max, you're a little bit of a card fan.
Look, I've been playing and collecting card games for over a decade now, and I've never been on a card myself. But that changes today, right here at this booth.
Well, yes, here at EWC, you can actually choose what you want to go on your card. Fantasy, fighting, shooter, cyberpunk, horror. Max, I'm going to have to go shooter. What about yourself?
Look, I love shooters, but fantasy is just so sick, so I'm going to go fantasy. But now the next one is you're picking your class. Usually in every game I play, I'm a healer, so I'm going to go with the healer class.
And guess what? I'm a DPS gal. I'm right up in that action, so I'm going to hit DPS. Fire, ice, lightning, shadow, glitch. So now we can put a bit of an aura light around our card. I think you're a glitch. Glitch?
I'm a glitch? I don't know how to take that, but thank you, I guess. But yeah, Esport World Cup is all about, you know, getting that technology involved. So I'm going to go with the glitch side of it. And next one is going to be Alien, Elf, Orc, Demon, and Undead. And I don't want to pick for you, Lace, but I feel like Elf would fit you perfectly on your card.
Absolutely. I'm going to pick Elf. It's like you just knew me, Max, and I'm so excited for this card. Now we're going to open the camera here and take our photo.
I'm going to use my mic as a staff. I think that's a good way to do it. Oh, yeah, dynamic pose.
That's fine.
Oh, I like that. And confirm. Avatar. Let's see how it comes out.
I had to get the pose down, Max. There we go. Now, of course, you guys here can come to the merch stand at EWC in and amongst your games. Make your own card. You can actually get it sent to your email address for free. But Max and I think we're going to get ours printed.
Yeah, we're going to redeem it right here at the booth and see how it looks in real life.
All right, Max and I haven't seen our cards yet, but you guys at home have. Are you ready to have a look, Max?
Oh, yeah, let's go. I'm excited.
3, 2, 1.
Whoa. It really encapsulated my jawline. That's crazy.
Yes, and I like that when you do the motion, it actually captures that.
Yeah, you know what? If you want your own trading card now with you on the card, make sure to come and get it right here at EWC 2026.
boy, oh boy, if we had any questions about Nongshim Red Force, they were just answers that were able to stop Vitality in that last game.
Finally, Nongshim return. Let's go. I was watching and I was going, okay, they're playing for survival. They are trying to just get into that top 5, just try and do something here. However, I knew, we've been talking about this actually before the game, right, where it's like, this team does not have any pressure on them whatsoever. They are not a team that falters under that pressure. So for me, seeing that, I was like, okay, let's see what they got. Let's see what they got. And actually, you know, coming in, they had a fantastic defense. Vitality, yes, they did push one by one a little bit, but I think for Nongshim, they were able to come in having sat all game in one compound and actually go, we're under pressure. Let's still play very well, still go as a group, push as a duo, make sure we're safe, and that's what won them the game.
And I mean, I got to talk about Vitality again. I'm sorry that I'm harping on about them, but they were able to have a 11.3 average elimination rate to catch E-Arena. This is insanity after, obviously, the cracking game from E-Arena right at the start. But they created themselves such powerful positions in this zone. They had such an incredibly close gap in points that they were like, you know what? We need to make this rotation. We need to play it here. Obviously, right at the end here, I liked the way that Axel sort of made that push with the vehicle. Unfortunately, that communication wasn't really passed on to the rest of the team. They should have followed through after popping the smokes, but obviously 3 of them held back. It would have been a different game for them. But from the start, I mean, the recon that they had on every single building push that they were able to do, especially against, I think it was TT, they are playing absolutely insane, not only for,
Hey guys. Hello. I decided to join you guys for a little bit of a CC update because I've got some interesting stuff to talk about, okay? We've got a lot going on at the Lenovo Legion Gauntlet. We already had a 3rd, 4th place decider match happen, and Geek Esports was able to claim 3rd place, making Rock Esports be that 4th place squad. Once that was done, we now have a grand finals match occurring. We will have another EWC champion in just a couple hours. That's between AGAL and KSG. It's going to be massive, and of course, I'll keep you guys all updated at home for how that ends up playing out. But, I mean, now that I'm here, let's get back into the discussion. These matches are great. Max, I kind of want to ask, Lace, do you have any thoughts about
Vitality. Vitality.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Don't be trying to take my job.
Lita.
Go find some more updates for the club championship. Yeah, she was going to ask you about, I don't even know what. Max, after these 3 matches, what has surprised you so far?
That was it's a normal-ish game. Actually, it was kind of weird still. The circle was very far to the western side. There was a lot of water on phase 1 zone. But overall, the execution was fun, but it was very gifted. We know, looking at this game, Vitality, Nongshim Red Force, not contested. There are 2 buildings in the circle until the very bitter end, literally until circle 8/9, and they went to make it work out. But pretty an easy win, right? And we're going to have a replay very soon to check out how Vitality decided to commit to the push. But here we go, quick look at the overall rankings, and oh my goodness, the point gap that we have created between 3rd and 4th position, Liptroy, is mental. 41 points up against 25.
I saw that in the beginning and at the end of game 3, right? Or game 2, rather. I mean, I was looking at 35 to 16 points, and it keeps going. 41 to 25 is insane. 25, 20, 16, 15, 12. That's sort of more normal for a game 3. 51 is not. And I don't know how we've got here. E-Arena, Vitality, even Hora doing fantastic in what have been back-to-back insanely difficult zones.
We do have to say, though, for E-Arena, they have slowed down, Lays. They ended up getting 39 points in that first game, but after that, yeah, you've been able to get some points here and there. Obviously, just for everybody, I'm not expecting for you to get 30 points again, but if it does happen, that'll be amazing. But the squad just hasn't been able to pull off the gap that I thought was going to happen.
See, this is what I see across several games, is that your game number 1 can be the crux of the whole entire thing. You can clearly take everyone's weakness, go in strong, but of course, 2nd, 3rd game, people are going to start reading your plays, understand where that you are going to push and how you're going to make this through, and that's what's happening to E-Arena now. They had such a strong start, but everyone's reading them like a book.
Everybody is reading them like a book. When we saw the overall there, at the bottom 3, we did ended up seeing Godlike. And with Godlike, we saw this past match that they ended up getting into a hot drop. For this squad, but you know what? Before we even talk about Godlike, let's talk about this, because I know you wanted to talk about this, Max.
I really wanted to have a bird's eye view of this push on Vitality that really can see the center of the circle, forcing Vitality out of their compound before Noxian Red Force. So Vitality don't have the advantage anymore. They have to be on the offensive. Massive smoke road. I'm not going to lie, looking at some of these smokes, not great synergy and communication. It kind of all spread all over the place, not denying lines of sight properly onto Noxian Red Force, but you can see the moment the two teams do get in grenade range, it's just a mini red zone here in this final zone, sending it forward. But this, I would say, is the biggest mistake from Vitality, and the main reason why they didn't end up getting this chicken dinner. They're sending it one by one. One player sends it, then an extra player sends it, but 2 players are still on the back end of that fight. This is the moment to send everything onto Noxian Red Force to hopefully make it work out. But here, one player on the left side of the wall, he gets overwhelmed. That's the end for Axel. Another player inside the building gets 1v3 at that moment pretty much. No way, Jose, is that working out. The 2 other players still on the roadside. Unfortunately for them, that was a massive misplay, sending it all together. Maybe that could have been a Vitality win, but Noxian Red Force, they see that mistake and instantly shut it down.
And it was going to be a hard push for Vitality. The fact that they weren't even able to try to make that push was perfect to see. Now, going back to Godlike, one thing that I was talking about with OG is that I wanted to see aggressiveness. Here with Godlike, I don't want to see unnecessary aggressiveness out of this squad, and I'm talking about those hot drops. You don't need to do those hot drops. Right now, you started off hot in Rondo, but they have slowed down in a way that they're just having to do silly things. You don't want to be hot dropping. You want to be securing those points.
Look, before this game, I said, I'm going to cut them some slack. We need a more normal game from them before I really judge them too harshly, right? Because bad zones are they're just horrific. And
yep.
We had a normal zone-ish. Wait, no, we didn't have a normal zone, but we didn't even get to the non-normal zone because they were normal-ish because they were too busy hot dropping. Why are we doing this?
I'm going to jump in again on your solo camera shot.
Yes.
Miramar's coming up. La Cobreria. So if it's happening on a wrangle, they're hot dropping the entire day, basically.
That's so true. You're so right, actually, and I'm not here for it. Stop hot dropping. Play normally. We believe in you. Just stop it.
I believe in them too. You know what? Let's all get into it cozy here. Let's go over, Lacey. Yeah. How do we feel about hot drops?
I freaking love it. I think it's fantastic. I think this is the 6 games you've got to make and do these plays. But you've got another 6 tomorrow to sort of calculate and figure it out. Hot drop. Go crazy.
What if it's a hot drop with Vitality?
Vitality gonna get you. I don't know. Maybe don't do that.
Definitely.
Read the game, VOD review. Guys, don't drop where Vitality's dropping right now. They're playing great.
Just please, honestly, Godlike, stop hot dropping. You're a team that has the potential to make it to the finals, just like OG was able to do as well. So please make sure you keep doing that. And as we're at the halfway point here of PMWC at EWC 26 Group B, how about we send it over to Barney and Luti? What are they up to right now?
Luti.
Yeah, Barney, tell me.
I've asked you to come down to the stage because I was talking to a few people and they told me that you have found out the formula, the secret to win at PMWC. Is that right?
Yeah, I spoke with so many specialists, so you have to listen to me carefully, okay? Because the secret, Barney, is like you have to... And the chicken, you take the chicken at this point. And this is... And this is how you can be the champion.
Wow. I never knew that. That's some crazy insight into this game. And I tell you what, for those of you at home, if you're watching and you want to find out what it takes to win at PMWC, that right there, that's the secret. And so, casters, over to you.
Hope they listen well.
The secret is out, baby. Let's get it going. We're live I'm in Paris, France. Man, I thought Group A was crazy, but Group B is not messing around. I'm Hot Jukes here with John Allen. Bro, are you kidding me? What's going on today?
I mean, E-Arena, what a start to the day. And then Vitality just hitting those games every single time, always ending up in that late game and having a blast with it. Now they're neck and neck at the top, and they're pushing past those boundaries, Jukes.
Man, those boundaries are long gone. We saw, in my opinion, the best start in a tournament in PUBG Mobile esports history here. And we got some teams actually competing with them still. It is unreal. The zones have been going all over the place. This first half has been nuts, and I'm expecting even more craziness as we get into the final 3 matches.
There is so much still left to go, if you can even imagine it, right? That is so crazy that we've had such a bombastic start, but we've still got plenty more matches left. This is the last Erangel today, so we're going to be heading to Miramar later as well. The desert awaits, but we have to get through the last of the grassy pastures first in order to get there. We haven't earned that right just yet. Neither have our players, but they are getting locked and loaded and lobbied up as we head on into the match. It is time once more to see if Vitality can reach that late game.
Let's see if they're going to be able to do it. This is the final Erangel. Like you mentioned, this is that place to put up some serious points. We finally saw Nongshim Red Force get their chicken dinner. They were at the down on the bottom of the leaderboards going into that match, but now they've got to be feeling pretty good. Which is going to be the next team to get it? We're about to find out. Let's get into it. The last Erangel here of day number 1 of Group B.
Let's get stuck right in from the military island up towards Severny on this plane path. We're going to see a fairly fair distribution of drop spots available for everybody. No real big dramas here. Taking a look at those tables as well. Nongshim Red Force jumping up with that chicken dinner all the way to 5th place on 20 points right now. Just goes to show you these early doors don't mean a jot if you can keep it going. So for Hustler Crew, let's pick up the pace, you know? A UK team in the finals? Absolutely, I'd love that.
Let's get it going. I mean, hey, we saw Nongshim before that last game. They had, what, 6 points? And then now we see them, like you mentioned, in 5th place in just one single game. So when it comes to Hustler Crew, they could definitely get it going here. We can see the top players there on that bottom left side with Axel with 14 eliminations.
Yeah, doing bits for the rosters right now. Vitality E-Arena are going to be slathered all over these top player cards. I'm guaranteeing it for you now with what they were able to do. They are looking very, very good. E-Arena, a little bit less legs into those later games, I think it's safe to say, but they still have done so much. And Horror keeping pace. I mean, in any other sort of day, that 41-point record for Horror would be pretty immense, right? After the first couple of matches.
Oh my God!
Let's do it to them again. You know, let's send the circle down south and see what they got. Because yeah, we didn't get enough military.
What is going on today? These circles have been absolutely insane. And you're right, we're back down south once again. You got Vitality down there. I mean, it's wild to think that we saw a 39-point game in one match, and we actually have a team tied with them. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, since then, what is that? 12 points they've earned in the next 2 games, which is still pretty good, right? That's pretty good. That's like a middle table performance right now. 8th and 9th, both on 12 points apiece. So yeah, they've still done pretty well. But Vitality's consistency for me is really interesting. And given this circle, Vitality are in such a good spot. If it does go south, because they do need to keep themselves nice and cool, calm, collected, and look good.
Yeah, well, you guys got to make sure you pick up that Naruto skin. That Uzumaki event is going on, guys. Make sure you pick up all that good stuff in-game immediately. I'll tell you what, I make sure that I got mine, and I know that Maxman has got his. But which team is going to get this chicken dinner? We can see the Wolves. They ain't messing around. They said, let's get down south quick.
Absolutely. First over the bridge. Well, second maybe over the bridge, I think it's safe to say. You do have some players.
Oh, you